Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording session of Hearthstone. So, first things first, we need to trade out this 40 for another 40, so win 3 games with Shaman or Warlock, play 50 Mage cards, play 50 Shaman cards. We have an overlap here, so that's where we will start. I actually did eventually just have to build a new Paladin deck full of Paladin cards while I was playing. It's not well thought out or anything, and it's almost certainly gonna get deleted and replaced again at some point because some of these quests I really didn't account for as much as I thought when I was building my decks. Like playing 50 Mage cards, playing 50 Shaman cards, that's gonna be kind of hard because I was going for strategies that often included neutral cards, and the balance is just all kind of messed up. Because you kind of need to make cards that have secrets but are also hunter cards, or cards that have overload, which overload will be the deck we're playing because all the cards that have overload will be shaman cards. So that'll work very nicely. But Shields Up, on the other hand, a significant amount of cards that have shields are neutral cards. Just try to play ranked, I suppose? Or, wait, no, I have to actually win. So let's not play ranked. Yeah. So, on top of that issue, I have a few sort of problems. The Steam Awards that we voted for, that we nominated things for, have now, as I predicted, and as I am sure most people predicted, reared their head again as part of the Steam Winter Sale. They're going to have us vote for one category of picking from the nominations that everybody voted for. So I assume this was just a popular vote and Steam didn't go in the background and eliminate some games, but I can testify at least that my selections are not here, so my pick wasn't special. If that means anything. They could have certainly given you your pick and then 5 other picks and said, would you consider changing your vote? And then it would be a popular vote versus a runoff vote. But then that really wouldn't solve much or change anything. Some of my picks here might have overlapped. I made a mistake certainly by not writing down what I had picked. So I kind of don't remember. I should have written this stuff down, and because this list is so long, it's taken up almost my entire board. There are a few other things to talk about, but I have to talk about everything that's on my board right now, and then next recording, after erasing this, talk about it. So I'm gonna go just down the list on my board. The first thing I have is there's a not safe for work Witcher 3 cosplay calendar coming out. It does have the 2 girls, I can't remember the name now, it's been long enough, but it is mostly focused around Geralt of Rivia. So this cosplayer is dressed up as Geralt of Rivia. He's covered in scars. He's got the beard. Now, frankly, I think the face of Geralt of Rivia looks fine, but the way the body is just scarred all up, and it has a brand of the Wolf Clan on him, and he's not wearing the shirt. Nothing really appealing there. I don't think girls or guys, why am I gendering it? I don't think people who look at guys' bodies, whoever they may be, are going to be into a massive amount of scars. That just seems unrealistically... Well, it just seems unrealistic, frankly. If I do this and this, maybe I could get a... Kind of have to do this, don't I? Yeah, that's what I was shooting for, was the taunt character to do this, get this guy up and hit this. So yeah, I just don't think that appeals. The other thing is, I'd like Geralt of Rivia, unless they're showing his behind, that's not gonna appeal very well for him too. So plus you're doing propaganda, so you're kind of limiting yourself even more. This. Nice. So interesting. I suppose I'm surprised there was only one in not safe for work cosplay Witcher 3 thing. It's not an official thing, so I wouldn't be super surprised if they came back and were sued. Simply because of the legal implications.
Job's done.
But it's something there. As far as other video game cosplay calendars, I don't know of many. It's kind of something that doesn't reach my circle of knowledge, which I personally think my circle of knowledge is quite large as far as it comes to video games, so it's kind of surprising. I don't go deep into the cosplay elements though. And frankly, every time I do go into the cosplay elements, the ones that get highlighted high enough are the same character in the same risque clothing every time. So yeah, I would definitely need help. I'd need more subscribers if I wanted to go down that route. And it would be kind of fun too. The nice end of the year thing. I've really blown all of the holidays again. I'm doing Honey Pop and wasting my time kind of, because it's gonna have to be released after my 7 o'clock time slot, and that I suppose is fine, but it's also a little bit of a shame. So Honey Pop will be censored, but it still needs a late night time release, and we'll see if it gets flagged even in its censored form. Turns out that there might very well be a patch for it to make it even less censored. What's funny is Honey Pop on Steam is censored, so it's softcore, so no lower half of the body shown. And then there's a way to change it so the hardcore files are already in the Steam version, and you just have to put a 0-byte file, it seems, in the launch folder to change it, and even at softcore, the actions depicted over the clothing is still intense enough to make me feel at least like it needs to be blurred. And thank goodness for Google's new blurring tool they introduced this year, so I can do that. Otherwise I would have never been able to do Honey Pop, or if I would have done it, it would have been a lot of hard cuts, a lot of just edits out like I did in Witcher 3. I wish the Witcher 3 game had come out a little later with the blurring tool. I could have certainly covered that game. this issue doesn't come up that much, as I'm nearly finished with Honey Pop, and it's going to be kind of a long series too. I think I'm leaning towards 2017 being more about longer releases. Anyways, so from that factor, it's gonna be kind of a long, but as I'm playing it, it really is pointing out to me where a standard Japanese visual novel where you're having to go through lots of conversations and there's no gameplay mechanic like the Honey Pop's puzzle matching, and it's just about memorization and knowing characters, stats. All of that kind of combines to just scream to me I could never play 99.9% of those games, even with censorship and censorship without. But on top of wasting time on that, trying to get around Valentine's Day in February, Chinese New Year is happening in January, and I did not write that down, so I don't particularly know when Chinese New Year is. Darn it, that is a shame. And I had already scheduled everything in that time slot. So what do I do now? It becomes the question. Yeah, the only thing I can really do is see if I play some of these Chinese New Year games I had bought and spend do just little spotlights on them. And if that's the case, that's kind of fine, but it's not ideal, certainly. Maybe I could. I think one of my Chinese New Year's was Pretty Girls Mahjong, so maybe I could do that at a late night time slot too. And I accidentally here I'm adding this late night time slot that I don't really have any intention to add. And so that's some weird things. But I need to move forward. So the Steam Awards. You get to vote for one each day between the December 22nd and 30th. This will all have happened by the time you see this. The first one is Villain Most in Need of a Hug. I believe I either gave that to the cat lady or somebody else. And if it was somebody else, I don't know. So, best guess I gave that to the cat lady. She didn't get nominated. So the ones that did get nominated are Borderlands 2, Dead by Daylight, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and Portal 2. So some of these games, if not most of these games, didn't even come out in 2016. And I think inherently that is part of the problem with this whole award season is what are they going to do next year? You really can't just have the same game given the same awards. Also, these awards are totally just random. They don't have anything to do with anything. Now, since they set up the nominations for this, the Video Game Awards show happened, and boy, is it not good by most people's comments. So yeah, that is a consideration too. Let's go ahead and end the turn. So we now have 2 award seasons that really don't mean anything. I just don't think the video game industry is mature enough or ready enough or even cares enough to want awards. And frankly, since we live in this awful world where people's bonuses are tied to getting scores, the idea of giving awards to programmers is just going to get turned around and made into to something awful. Almost certainly is. 2 here. And 2 here. So, yeah, this is just kind of a trick to get you to come to the Steam store every day. It's pretty blatant, and they're not really doing anything good. Maybe next year, if they did it again, they would retire games that had previously won. I suppose that works. But anything short of that, they're just gonna get the same winners. I guess I would just assume this is a popular vote, so Borderlands 2 probably gonna win. I would be very surprised if Dead by Daylight wins. Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4 might win. Portal 2 might win. It's just kind of whatever the most popular ones. Now the next one is, I thought it was cool before it won an award. I think I gave that to Day of the Tentacle, maybe. Euro Truck Simulator 2, Day of the Tentacle did not get accepted, as it were. I don't know how you really say it didn't win the popular vote. Almost none of mine did. So Euro Truck Simulator 2, Paladins, Starbound, and Stardew Valley, and really Unturned? Apparently I wrote Unturned was one of the ones too.
Well played.
So 4. Let's attack here. This. This. Do this.
Little eat, never bribe.
This. And this. That's good. The next one was Test of Time. Let's see. Team Fortress 2, Terraria, Ages of the Empires 2, HD, Skyrim, and Civ 5. And I gave it to, for that award, I nominated Realness Masterpiece Edition, which, that one in particular had a low chance of winning because there was 3 different games you could have nominated there. You could have nominated Myst, Myst Masterpiece Edition, or Real Myst Masterpiece Edition, and so the ticket was split by 3 different copies of the same game. Same is true kind of for Skyrim, and they just gave it to Skyrim when Skyrim Special Edition might have been a better choice, but maybe not, because now I've heard that more people are still just playing the original Skyrim because of the mods not being ported over than the Special Edition. The next one was Just 5 More Minutes. I gave this, of course, to Time Clickers as a joke because I've played 9,000 hours, according to Steam, of Time Clickers, because it's always running in the background. And they gave it to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Rocket League, Civ 5, and Fallout 4.
Job's done.
And Team... what is it?
Pleasant feast of Wintervale.
What is that game? Team Fortress, I think. And... let's see. So all of those, yeah. That's Rocket League, did I say Rocket League? So just games people like for Just 5 More Minutes. Very nebulous, because a lot of those games do require more time, some of them don't. Like Rocket League is on a clock as far as I understand. so you kind of know. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, each round is on the clock, so you kind of know. They don't really buy into the idea of you need just 5 more minutes to finish one round. You would have to start another round and continue playing. Next one is Whoa Dude. I don't even remember what I put there as the vote, like, so I have no idea. But who did win was BioShock Infinite, Doom, GTA 5, Metal Gear 5, and Witcher 3. I think Doom particularly is in here because the Doom guy is kind of a dude, and GTA 5 is probably kind of dude bro-ish as far as like the game, and Witcher 3 kind of has no reason to be there at all. And you may have noticed a pattern here. Witcher 3 is in a lot of these categories. There's a lot of replacing here. So what happens if Witcher 3 wins the first day it's up for an award, and then the next day it wins, and then the next day it wins? They've only got like 6 or 7 awards they're giving out. They really can't afford to have 3 of them go to Witcher 3 just because it was the newest game and probably the best just because of that. And then the Whoa Dude category in itself is very non-explained. It's like, what do it mean? BioShock Infinite kind of had a whoa like twist on it, but BioShock 1's beginning is more of a whoa twist to me than things that were kind of drip-fed and explained to you throughout the entire run of BioShock Infinite. You knew most of the concepts that you needed to know
All realities.
by the final reveal in BioShock Infinite. The final reveal of A City Under the Sea is at the very beginning in BioShock 1, and then you have to play the game to learn more. Let's do this. Attack. Next category is games within a game. I picked The Witness. It didn't win. Again, games within a game. Gary's Mod, GTA 5, Stanley Parable, Tabletop Simulator, and Witcher 3. I suppose The Witcher 3 does have Gwent in it. And Gary's Mod, you can make games within a game. With the mods, you can do silly things with GTA 5, but I don't think there's actually a game Stanley Parable in a similar way. There's not actually another game in Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable is just kind of about the narrator talking to you. So I wouldn't think that deserves a win. And I honestly feel like The Witness should have been nominated for this one and won this one. Above the other picks, which I limited myself to games I played. The Witness really does have a game within a game, although arguably some of its game is kind of weak. You could make the argument it has half a game within half a game. But it definitely should beat Gary's Mod. It definitely should beat GTA. It definitely should beat Stanley Parable. And it probably should beat Tabletop Simulator. I would say the only one that really should compete with The Witness, but from my perspective, would be the Witcher, because that actually does have a game in it. Let's see. We may keep going long here. I need to hurry up. Next one is I'm Not Crying, There's Something in My Eyes. I think maybe I gave that to The Walking Dead, which actually got nominated. So that's somewhat surprising. The other nominations are Life is Strange, To the Moon, This War of Mine. What is... Man, I wrote these things so small. I can't even read what I wrote. UDOINOL.
You asked for it.
What in the world did I write? I have a word here. And it's not spelling a word. Wow. I'm gonna have to do something about this boogie board idea and get a bigger board or something. It just doesn't work as well as pen and paper. Sad to say. So yeah, there's another thing in there, but I don't have a clue, and I can't for the life of me figure out what that was. And see, I sometimes lie to myself and say it's not really writing what you write, it's just the mental action of writing it that's making me remember. But no, in this case it actually is writing. Next category is best user for farm animal. I gave that to Minecraft story mode, not included. What was included was Stardew Valley, Ark Survival Evolved, Blood and Bacon, Farm Simulator 17, and Goat Simulator. This category in particular was handcrafted to go to Goat Simulator. I'm surprised they even got other things. Like, I don't know if there are farm animals in Ark Survival Evolved. Honestly, I thought it was just dinosaurs. Blood and Bacon sounds like it probably has a pig that's fighting things in a brawler, and Farm Simulator 17 must have animals, of course, and then Stardew Valley at some point must have animals in it, not as far as I got though. Next one was the write-ins. So they had a category they called We Didn't Think of Everything for write-ins, and they picked 4 of those to add categories. So what I jokingly did was I said I called it for my write-in the We Didn't Think of Everything award, since that's what they called it. So I just repeated them and gave it to Skyrim, because, again, joking, Skyrim did not think of everything in their games. I may have given it also the Skyrim Special Edition, but it kind of doesn't matter. But that didn't win. What did get added was Boom Boom as an award, the Boom Boom Award, I suppose, and Broforce. Another one I cannot read. Doom, Doom, Just Cause 3, Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes, and Kerbal Space Program. So that's the Boom Boom category. Let's see. Deal 3 damage. Deal 2 damage. Deal 3 damage for this one. Deal 2 damage to the random one. There we go. Deal 2 damage to unlock another one. So I can do this. The next write-in category was Love-Hate Relationship, Dark Souls 3, Darkest Dungeon, Dota 2, Geometry Dash, and Super Meat Boy. No huge surprise there, almost certainly Dark Souls 3 will win that. Next one was the Sit Back and Relax category, Abzu, City Skylines, Euro Truck Simulator, Mini Metro, and Vinity or Verity. Haven't even heard of that one, so I'm gonna go type that one in and see what that game is. The next category is Better with Friends. So that's Don't Starve Together, Gang Beasts, Golf for Friends, Left 4 Dead 2, and Magica. So no big surprises there, although it's kind of surprising Magica is in the list at all, but deal 4 to a minion. We need to do this and overload 2. This. And that's it for the NVIDIA Awards. So I only have a couple more things I need to cover, and then I'm gonna write down what I haven't written down on my board, which actually probably won't be that much either for the next report. And then we're probably gonna be a little bit quiet. So NVIDIA is gonna try to sell this upgrade in a box thing. It'll include a video card, a power supply, an SSD, a t-shirt, and the code for Gears of War 4. And I think that's all it is. Now, frankly, this is kind of a bad deal. Even if it was a discount, by combining all these things, I think it's going to be MSI products. So unless you specifically wanted MSI products, you're going to be forced into... Oh man, I can't hit a minion with this. You're going to be forced into a product you don't want. Buying a power supply out of a box is probably a terrible idea because you don't know what the power requirements for your motherboard and any other components in your computer is. And since it's kind of getting sold as a complete kit, it's almost certainly going to be targeted to the wrong people. So people are going to try to put things like this in their Dell computers, and it may not even fit the Dell case. Video cards fitting into small cases is still a big issue, and it doesn't even matter because they'll have like a Pentium or a i3 CPU in their computer, and they'll have DDR3 at the slowest setting possible, and all these upgrades don't really work that way. So this is just the opposite of a pick apart upgrade to your computer, and I would certainly not agree with that. CD Projekt Red was given $7 million from the Polish government. Techland was also given some money from the Polish government as grants. I guess that's a good thing. They now have more money to specifically upgrade and work on Cyberpunk 2020 or whatever the game is that they're working on. Techland can work on Dying Light now with more money, and it keeps their Polish government jobs, and so it's good for everybody, hopefully. And then the last two things I need to talk about: Friday the 13th now has more gameplay mechanics. I won't particularly go as far as to say it looks like more of a game, but it now definitely has more gameplay mechanics, and they're making works for it. It looks a little bit better, but it's still got a long way to go before it would be something that would really interest me. The game, I think maybe it's called Dead by Daylight, if that's the one I'm thinking about, kind of ate the lunch of Friday the 13th, and they've got to do a lot better than that now. And then Ark Survival Evolved has announced they're going to come out with a VR game that's Ark Jurassic Park or Ark Park. That's really weird because, to my knowledge, Survival Evolved still isn't really finished. And this is probably the second or third time that they've tried to sell a different product without finishing the first one, and people in general are not happy with them. So that's it for what I've got listed here, and we've gone a little long here. As far as accomplishing our goals, I just need one more Shaman card and a bunch of Mage cards. So we could probably pull off most of that in the next recording. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can go to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.